Mr. J Black.
Hex, okay, we coming, you ready or not for the #1 spot? So tell me we not. Had a little run, in a bull run. Yeah, it was fun, but now done stop. Bitcoin done, Ethereum done. They got a new coin, it's ready to drop. You got an airdrop, get rid of your five, so get you some posts. They gon' give you a lot. Keep a few coins, they give you a copy. We cleaning up, baby. I need me a mop. They know that we up, we winning a lot. The number go up, but where's the top? Up where I'm at, you hear me or not? A year and a half, we been on the top. The haters, they mad, they wanted to stop. They say it's a scam, let me figure it out. Money go win a stake in, go pull it out. It's a bigger amount. I do not see what the fuss is about. I think they doing it.
Hello and welcome back to KSB TV YouTube channel. And this is our ladies panel, weekly ladies panel that I like to call the Crypto View. Hello, ladies. How are you guys doing today?
Hey guys, how's it going? So good to see you, ladies.
Hi, ladies.
Likewise.
All right, guys, in the chat, I want to give you guys just a couple minutes, an opportunity to like, subscribe, share the link so that we can get active in this chat. We love and appreciate your comments. So ladies, before we get going into today's topic, I just want to go around the room and give you guys the opportunity to, just say hello, what you guys have been up to individually, and then I will introduce our topic for today. So let's start with Georgia.
Just the one that was most distracted all the time.
You caught my attention. I love your brooch. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I love brooches, guys. I like they decorate anything, so it's amazing. It keeps the attention to something else. Thank you, first of all, for having me here. This is an amazing with a room full of amazing women. I have been very active on Twitter Spaces. I think we need the presence of the Hexican ladies on the Twitter Spaces because that's where most of the most current information happens. So I've been hanging out there. I've been doing a lot of crazy things. I'm sure you've seen all the crazy things that I've done on my Twitter page with my own production company, I call it. I laugh because for me it's therapy, guys. But whatever it is to promote Hex and Pulse Chain and Richard Hart, I'm there. So, and the alarm just went off. God, sorry. There's flaws. There's what? Sorry. Let's all leave.
Whose child guy?
Run for your life. Sorry.
All right, well, Lindsay, how's things going on your side of the country?
Good. We've just been working, heading out, getting face-to-face, doing a lot of meetings. I've been doing a deep dive into smart tokens, intergrade prize solutions, all the buzzwords that's going on. There's a few airdrops coming up. Been recording a few videos. So, yep, busy. Always so much fun.
Absolutely. And what about you, Jory?
Yeah, everything great in my aisle as well. I mean, as always, I'm making content in Albanian and trying to make in English as much as possible as well. It's just I have not been mastering it yet to be able to do both languages, but soon it's coming. I'm working on a little project that I'm not ready to share yet, but soon I should be able to share that as well. But as we all know, my main focus is to just spread the word of Hex and Pulse Chain, especially with my community in Albania and wherever all the Albanians are. So that's what I'm always thinking. Even in my sleep, my dreams consist of how will I spread the word of this new innovation?
Absolutely. And I actually picked this panel specifically for a purpose. And that is because, Georgia, when I first met you, you were making not only this amazing content that you're making now that has like this funny sense of humor to it, but you were branded as like a mom, right? You were specifically either making content in Spanish or you were targeting a specific demographic. Lindsay, I've always kind of related you with someone who has this passion to onboard women into the space. You've been a part of a lot of different women groups and things like that. And then Jory's content, like she said, has been to this point in her language. And then when she comes and does panel streams with us, then she does in English, but she also has a specific target audience. And so I wanted to have this conversation today about demographics in the cryptocurrency space, whether that is men versus women or country-based. And so I have this screen share that I'm going to pull up to help us get started with our conversation today. And this is a website called AAA. And I looked for a couple of different sources, and this one gave me the most consistent information. Now, of course, we don't know how correct the information is. Typically, these studies are based on a certain number of people that filled out their survey, right? And then they took the numbers based off of the people that participated. But I feel like it gives us a good overview for the conversation that we're going to have today. And let me get it to where I can actually move my mouse. It breaks it down not only by countries, right? But it also gives us some interesting information as far as male to female, as far as the age group. I thought it was really, really interesting that they're reporting that 72% of people involved in crypto are under the age of 34. Seem to have a high level of education, and then average crypto. The income part, and we're going to get into like the United States, because that was really interesting. When you go into the United States, the number is a lot higher, right, as far as the income of people that are involved in cryptocurrency. So the first area that I want to kind of tackle is women in crypto. Over the last, I'd say 2 to 3 years, we've seen this number go from less than 15% to now it's being reported that over 30% of women are involved in some type of means of crypto. What do you ladies think has contributed to this change in number and this uptick of women being involved in cryptocurrency? And I think, I kind of I'd rather, instead of just telling somebody to go, whoever is.
I can honestly, I can think of one thing. What pushed me to get into cryptocurrency was because I value family a lot, and I would like to be with my family as much as possible. And especially when I have children, I would like to be with my children 24/7. And I realized that if I were to be a pharmacist, I had to follow the rules, and I had to go to my 9 to 5, sometimes 12-hour shifts. So this will be away from the time with my family and my future children. So this was number one for me as to what pushed me into crypto, was to understand that this is my only chance, because I didn't come from a wealthy family. I literally had to start from A every single time. So yeah, that's what pushed me, that, listen, this is my only chance. And I think this is what happens with a lot of, I will speak for immigrants here, with a lot of immigrant children, because they do not come with a lot of money. Their upbringings were not very wealthy. And then now they've understood that the way the system is going, it's a Ponzi, and they need a way out. And I truly, truly see cryptocurrency as their only option. And I speak for myself here, but I'm sure for the people in my generation as well. And this was for me, and maybe I can speak for the little community that I know that is also in crypto, which is the same story as mine.
Yeah. Jory?
Nancy, you want to go? I can go, whatever.
Well, okay. So here we go. There is a noticeable difference in the relationship that men and women had in 1910 versus 2023. And there is a vast difference in the responsibilities that women have now in 2023 versus 1910. Things have evolved and things are more expensive, right? We see a lot more single moms out there. And so I'm a single mom. Technically, I'm a single mom. So you come out there, and what is your greatest opportunity that you see out there? Because it's not working in 9 to 5, as yours you pointed out right there. You hit the nail on the head. It's there. You're making money to send your kids to daycare. You're making money and you're sending your kids to school with someone else. Like, you're losing so much time with your children because you're like out there accumulating fiat. So for me, getting into crypto, really, like when I said, and as my intro, like always, is when I got started with HEX, I was given it by loved one, and I really didn't know what the value was. But then as soon as I started, I was like, it was like a light bulb went off. And so I do have that passion to get more women into crypto, because so many of them are dependent on a man to sustain them financially. And not so many of them, just there are women out there that are dependent on a man, or they find themselves in a situation, they find themselves dependent on what else? Because if you're a single mom, you have and your family situation, so you have nowhere else to turn to. Who are you going to turn to? You have to know, you have to be honed in, and you have to be ready from the get. So this is the highest appreciating asset class in history. We will, certainly not in my lifetime will I see an opportunity like this again. So having the hyper awareness that we are in such early days, and looking at the statistics just really nailed that in for me. Looking at the age, okay, you're looking at over 70% of the investors in this marketplace right now are under 40. So how many years left do they have to just skyrocket with us? And as these boomers move through, no offense, but as you're moving through and you're sucking up resources and you enjoy that huge wealth gap gain, now it's time for a younger generation that'll come through. Crypto is not going to stop. They can't stop crypto. They can Operation Choke Point it to death, but there's always ways to negate. Listen, like kids, if there's something you want bad enough, you will find a way to get it, right? So I'll get off my soapbox with that one, but that's really that divide is great. And I see this as an opportunity for women to close that gap the quickest. Well, if you have to work that 9 to 5, right? Because where else are you gonna park your fiat that will reward you for your time?
Georgia?
Incredible. Well, for me, it was a motivation when I had to stay home with the children and look around and have so much time to think. I was lucky enough to be able to work from home or to stay here and be part of my children's education when they were not able to go to school. And I realized I'm only a paycheck away from being broke, from being on the street, from not being able to pay the rent or to pay for all my things. And that was pretty much to see what my children were getting through the education they were getting from public school, and to put that need of, oh my God, what do I do? What else can I do? Can I go? Yes, I can prepare something and go sell in the streets, but I can't go out in the streets. What do I do in case of an emergency, in case there's only one provider, in case that I don't have that job anymore? So that motivated me to look at different ways of getting out there and getting income into my family, and also for the future, because most of us excuse me, most of us spend the money that we have saved during the time that we were shut down. So that was my biggest motivation. I wanted to break that tradition of my family members of only working 9 to 5 and doing as much as we can and getting side jobs. I wanted to break that, and I wanted to make sure my children had a window to the future, or had an opportunity to be what I can probably not be in this lifetime. So I found that through crypto, through learning from you guys.
Yeah, and one interesting fact that, or one of the measurements, as I said, that the average income in crypto was below $25,000. That just lets you know that people like us who did not come with a lot of money, and they are trying to survive and not thrive. This is our only chance. So this is amazing metric that caught my eye.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the window of opportunity to be able to succeed in life for our children, it's closing. It's not as wide as we had in our time. Maybe you, Jory, I don't want to say anything, but you're very young, but for the younger generations, your children, Casey, your children, Lindsay, or your future children, Jory, they won't have the opportunities we have now.
So I'm going to speak from a different perspective of the married woman, right, who came in to crypto because her husband was in crypto, and trying to understand what made me just say, no, I want to be, a steward of my own funds. I want to understand crypto and not just say that my husband will take care of it and I'm all good. And I think that I can attribute a lot of me wanting to be more involved in the space and understand the space more to representation, right? When I first got into crypto and I started seeing my husband watch these different streams, I wasn't seeing any women. I wasn't seeing any people that looked like they had backgrounds like mine, right? I think culture does play a role in it, right? Somebody from Albanian community that hears Jury speaking is going to be more inclined to listen to what she's saying than to see me, speaking English and talking about these subjects. And so for me, representation was like really key, like seeing that there was a ladies discourse channel and all these women were so involved with talking about Hex and explaining it, that made me want to deep dive and understand the environment even more. And so I posed that question to you guys. And I lost myself on here. I know I had it written down somewhere. Yes. How important is demographic specific content to onboarding these underrepresented communities, right? Whether that's women, whether that's people from your own cultural background, why is it that that's a factor?
That is very important. I'm gonna start with that one. I was just talking to a group on Telegram, the Hex en Español, the Pulse Chain in Español community, and they are so involved in promoting Hex and the ecosystem and everything, the Richard Hart projects, other projects as well. And they were talking about that gap. They were telling me, thank you for representing. And I say, I'm not representing. I want to be a bridge. I want to make sure that we are able to talk. And we were throwing ideas on how we can, for example, go back to the old videos and maybe do a voiceover in Spanish. And Jory is doing an incredible job. She took the initiative to go and do it in a different language. And I am an English as a second language. That takes a lot of courage. Congratulations, Jory. I really, really admire what you're doing out there with your community. That is remarkable, and we should follow the lead. So you have put us the bar higher for all of us who speak.
Thank you, but for some reason it still does not feel like something's missing. And I mean, English is my second language, but unfortunately, I don't speak one language fully to 100% speak it and understand it.
Not
so
only that,
I'm a mess in English and I'm a mess in Albanian, and it's so challenging.
You're doing it. Don't worry about
it's
it.
Great.
Serena Alonso, one of our ladies of Hex, she said that she motivated me at the beginning to start doing all the crazy things that I've done. She said, just start doing it. And eventually, do you think that all of these streamers that started, men, women, that started at the beginning, did it so fluent? No, you evolved, you reinvent yourself. So that's congratulations. I think you're doing an incredible job, and I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're crushing it. I mean, it is literally, and I hate that term is so overused. Ugh. Anyway, it literally, like, you have to speak their language. So when you're targeting a demographic, you already have the beauty of knowing exactly who your audience is already, what language they speak, what income bracket they fall in, what interests them, what they're scared of. You have all of these statistics that you can take a big ball out of. And, then you're very specifically honed in on the language that they speak. So it's a two-way street. And so, instead of cramming it down somebody's throat or like dumping a whole, I always say, like, it's like, if you're going to dump salt on something, are you going to like put a pinch on it, like a little fleur de sel, or are you going to like take that shaker and go nuts? No, you're just put a little fleur de sel on it, give it some flavor. And in order to do that, you have to speak their language. So speaking in Albanian, speaking in Spanish, speaking in English. I mean, you're speaking in crypto. It's already a foreign language already. So don't give yourself a hard time with that one. If you're translating it, you please give yourself the credit for the service that you're providing, not only for the English speakers, but your Albanian audience and your women audience and your Albanian men audience. Like you're really that demographic that you have honed in on will be able to take that, and then they'll be able to be like, oh, if you say something wrong, it's not something wrong. It's something that they can interpret and take, and they'll remember what you're saying and be able to interpret that. And
it's not even about that, well, at least the reason why I started with the demographic that I started is because they truly just don't know, like they have no idea, and somebody needs to do it. And either it's me or, another person coming after me, and which will happen. And I hope that happens. It will happen, right? So as I saw with my community, with my demographic, I don't necessarily try to go for females or males as demographic, like whomever I can, whoever I can resonate with, because you're not going to resonate with everyone. And maybe not everyone is ready to learn about this new language, as Lindsay said. So me personally, the reason why I chose to do it in my language is because the word needs to be spread. And either that's me just speaking Albanian, and who cares if I don't speak it right? You will understand the point, what I'm trying to say. This is not about me. This is about how do we get the bigger purpose of, cryptocurrency and getting adoption. As Lindsay said, we're still early. Well, depending on which coin, but yeah, we're still very, very early, and the potential is so big that that's exactly what I'm trying to tell my community and the people who will resonate with me, because it's truly either now or ever. I don't want to create FOMO, but that's exactly what I'm doing, because that's exactly what it is. You know,
don't
life
be
changing.
Don't feel sorry later on if you don't get into it. It's up to you. You're giving them the tools, and they have to be able to have that drive and that desire to learn.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's super, super very important to connect with the people that, we relate to most, and whichever demographic that is. That's what because everybody, and especially in our community in Hex is very colorful. Like, we have a lot of characters, and everybody has their personalities, which is amazing. And, you will see that a lot for crypto as well. And especially with reaching the demographic that you want, that's exactly what we need. Just a lot of characters being themselves and attracting the characters like themselves.
Yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying, Jury. Like, for you, it's not about, a female or male audience, because the entire Albanian audience is underrepresented, right? And so when there is a underrepresented category, then you want to fill that need for all of those people. And so I want to ask you guys, what of these demographics probably surprised you the most, or any area that you want to kind of talk about? Maybe we speak about the age. I thought that was extremely interesting, that 72% are under age 34, which, I mean, obviously that makes a lot of sense, because anybody born, in the late 90s, early 2000s, you were essentially born with a cell phone in your, bassinet, right? You've grown up in this digital world. So the idea of embracing a digital currency concept is, a no-brainer. It's the people, like, I'm going to tell you this personal story. My grandmother is like extremely anti all things technology, right? But for many, many years, I have been sending her money monthly through, Wells Fargo to Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whatever. And so recently, Zelle has made this new little policy where even if you've been Zelling them money for forever, they want that person to sign up now, right? To continue to receive. And so I go and I'm like, hey, I need you to sign up so I can keep, doing what we do. And she goes, oh, I can't do that. Can't you just write me a check? And I looked at her, and my kids look at her like, a check? Like, my kids are like, what is a check? Like, what is that even? And then I'm like, no, I really can't. I don't have a check. And she's like, what kind of person doesn't have a checkbook? And I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty
Grandma
sure.
gonna learn today.
Right. If you go and ask the average 40 and under, do they have a checkbook? I feel like there's going to be a lot more no's than yeses.
Well, if you think about it, digital checks didn't come around until 1995 and after, right? So this first smart token was introduced to the World Wide Web 3 consortium in 1995. They ran title. They did all their programs for that. So from 1995 to 2003, paper checks have been in existence. That just speaks to the demographic that you're working with that is not ready to walk around with like something. Digital cash blows their mind, yet they've been using it since 1990. Let's say 1996.
Yeah.
Interesting. So in our generation going forward, the demographic that we're working with, and we're looking at that, so what, 72%, over 70% for younger than 34 and younger, they will not be walking around with their Louis leather wallets unless they want to look fancy pants. They will be walking around with their Louis leather cell phone that carries their wallet, their digital identity with them. So, these digital identities they're coming. And it's going to be interesting to see how they transition this in the future with the generation that's not ready to let go of those checkbooks.
One interesting part as well was that Pakistan is on the list, 26 million, and also India. I mean, that region there, they tend to, especially Pakistan, a very, very poor country. So to see them being active and wanting to find a way out, it's beautiful.
Yeah, well, India is the G20 president, so they should have a good amount of wallets open, because we're going to be looking to them to see what they do. They are piloting the program; they're paving the way. China, India, like we need to be looking.
Yeah, with the BRICS, but I mean, even Pakistan, it was very interesting. Very, very poor countries to see. It blows my mind. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think that because of the countries like India, Pakistan, Nigeria, Vietnam, really all of them, but America, that is what is driving down the crypto owner annual income, because I'm going to open up America in just a second so we can look more deeply into that. But what is actually seemingly driving adoption in these areas seems to be the NFT space and gaming. What is it called?
Play to pay, or something like that. There's entire families getting an income from that. It's huge. Also in South America, I have young nephews down there. My nephew is 21, 22, and he has been in crypto and all this stuff and play to pay. Or he has they have leagues. I had to understand that because I was just getting into crypto, so I didn't understand what he was talking about. But it's huge. It is huge. That's where families are living out of this. That's what it's so. They found the niche of resource to maintain their families, and it goes back to what I was saying. We're just a paycheck away from a lot of us from being broke.
Yeah. Now here's the breakdown of America, right? And you see that ownership by income, 44% of U.S. cryptocurrency owners have an annual income of 100,000 or more. So look how far of a spread that is. Now we're talking about near 50% of the American crypto population having, net worth 100,000 or more, where worldwide it was 25,000, right? That is a huge disparity.
Yeah, interesting. I would love to see the demographics that they polled for this.
That is true too. Yeah.
But it makes sense.
I mean, it's beautiful, right? Because crypto is one of the principles of crypto. It's inclusivity. It's inclusive for everyone, and you can see it here with all of these demographics. It's so amazing to see. I mean, the age of 18 to 24 has 12%. Like, what do they know? They're 18, but they know about crypto. So
they do, because they have access to TikTok and they have access to their phones. The technology is already, like Casey said, it came in the crib. They don't come anymore with a bread under their arms.
Yeah, but also if they wanted to go get a bank, right, and they're 17 years old, they cannot go and open a bank account. So it's just amazing to see. And again, one principle of crypto is that it's inclusive for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're 10, if you're 80, if you're a female, because as we know, in some countries, you cannot even have a bank account, if you are a female. Unfortunately, this happens to this day. Although we might not see it in America, this is currently happening in other countries. So to have access to something that is truly yours and nobody can ever take it away from you, It's so powerful, so powerful.
Yeah, not to be discriminated against because of your sex, your skin color, etc. Because you have a digital identity instead of having to walk in face to face with somebody. So you don't have a middleman predetermining and judging you before you even get your foot in the door. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's clear, even looking at this statistic here, that adoption of cryptocurrency is growing at a rapid speed, right? Even just something as simple as asking people, have they ever heard of a crypto from 2021 to 2022? That's a pretty significant difference in awareness, in an awareness study, right? To go from 30% of people saying, no, I've never heard of cryptocurrency, down to 18% in a year from 2020 to 2021.
Yeah.
Yay, crypto.
That just speaks to how early days you are, that there's still people that are saying, I have no idea what crypto is.
Right.
You know,
Right.
man.
That's a huge
Right.
market to say that 18% of Americans still have never even heard of crypto, right? And only 13% own cryptocurrency.
The potential is huge.
Imagine,
Yeah.
exactly. I was going to say, whom Paul's potential is huge.
13% in what, the second largest country of ownership, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So those are just some fun statistics that I wanted to go through. Always like, just seeing where we are in the space to know where we can go. So I guess my next question for you ladies would be, what strategies or tips do you have to get the message out there to underrepresented communities? Like, how do we continue to, grow these areas where the need is the most, right? Because right now, the people that have crypto, especially in the States, are people that have a bigger income class. Now, maybe that's from the gains of crypto, right? Maybe it's 100,000 average income because all these people in crypto have made so much money in crypto. But for me, I still have a desire. I come from a nonprofit background. I want to reach people who otherwise may not ever see generational wealth, may not ever see, the comfort of not having to do this 9-to-5 grind, right? So I want to reach these underrepresented communities. What can we do to do that?
Well, first of all, sorry, I'll go first. I think this is what's working for me. First of all, you have to be comfortable doing whatever you're going to do, and then go out and explore. Look around what you like. Everybody has different things that they like. I like to do the crazy videos that I do. I enjoy using my kids' applications on my phone. It took time for me to be comfortable to be here, like in front of a camera, and just look around and start exploring and see what things that you feel comfortable. You come from a background of nonprofit. Some mothers are in the PTA. Some women are very active on nightlife. There's many things, but make sure if whatever you do, just make sure you're comfortable, and it's something that is not going to take you out of your normal until you're ready, so you can start practicing. I think that's how we can start doing it.
That's exactly what I was actually going that route as well. My answer was going to be that just be yourself. Be yourself, because when you share your story, there's other people who have the same story as you, are going through the same thing as you're going through. And for example, me, it was very hard as well to talk in front of a camera, let alone be live where, thousands of people can watch you. So you are putting yourself on the unknown, and that's the beautiful part about it. So to reach anybody, I always say we must reach them emotionally, because that's in a level where we are connecting with them. And even if it is just listening to them for a little bit, I know me and Abid usually always, have very nice conversations about these topics, because he's totally different that, or not totally, but he thinks a little different than what I think. But I truly think that the only way we get people to listen to us is by, one, showing that you know the stuff, right? Showing that you are the experts, like you know what you're doing, you are learning about crypto every single day. But and then second, just, you don't have to be perfect. Just share your story, challenge yourself, most importantly,
Mhm.
because once you challenge yourself, you will just grow. Like I was just telling Avi, like, who would have thought I will now make videos about crypto? Like, I never in a million years thought that would be my forte. But look what I'm doing right now, and I'm very good at it. And I love that he pushed me into
Mhm.
doing that even more. So
Mhm.
just push yourself and be yourself. People will reflect to what you're saying, and they will rely to what you're saying. So therefore, I think that's how you make the people understand that, listen, I was in your shoes before. I know exactly what you're feeling, how it is going for you. And the only way we can do it is by following these steps and learning the first principles of crypto.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
That's
was going
right.
to go down the same path as you guys, honestly. And just to add something else is share what you, like Georgia said, share what you're interested in. If you like to cook, take pictures of
Mhm.
your food and put pictures of your food on your social account, and then say, you could come up with whatever you want to. But for me, I say, because I love to cook, I say, I learned how to invest because I love to eat. So in order for me to be able to keep cooking with these great ingredients in my portfolio, in my kitchen, I got to keep up adding
Mhm.
ingredients like those ways. So if I talk about recipes and something, then someone who is interested in cooking might not necessarily know about crypto, but then I can kind of get them interested in that way. So
Mm.
love that Fashion Coder is out there doing videos where the get ready videos.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love that.
So
And
the story, yes, Jory
No,
as
I'm
well.
I'm trying to. I only did one, and he actually went very well because of Fashion
It
Coder. I
was
saw Fashion
really
Coder
good.
doing it, so I'm like, I'm gonna do it.
mhm.
Yeah, she's amazing, and
Yeah.
I will continue doing that too. I will get that from Fashion Coder as well.
That's a great way to
That's
command an
amazing.
audience. And then if you go back into the websites that you shared, if you look at that demographic, okay, and you're seeing a spike in an audience there, and you're not, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to relate. Go onto their website, take a look at 18-year-olds. What are 18-year-olds interested in? What are they following on TikTok? Find that relatable component, add your own spice and your own language to it as you go forth. If you're not really sure where to start, just jump. Do a Mel Robbins on
That's
yourself.
right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, based on the statistics, I mean, it's already clear that the younger generations are more inclined and more open to the idea of cryptocurrency. So, I want to read this comment from Harmonic Hexican. She says, I like your idea of going to colleges. Young people are so creative and have gifts that crypto would help them realize, which, of course, I completely agree. But I also believe that we need to start even younger. I think that, the more we can do to educate and reach the younger demographic, the better off and the faster we will see massive adoption in the space, right? They're the ones that are the builders of the future. They're the ones that are going to develop it and understand it in a way that reaches their generations. So what can we
Mhm.
do to spread the message more and to educate the children more?
Yeah.
Honestly, educate the parents,
Hmm.
because nobody will ever teach you how to make money. No matter in what college you go, nobody will ever teach you how to make
Mhm.
money. And the only thing, and I'm not a parent, so maybe I will change what I think later on. But I think the only thing that I can teach my child is truly how to make money. Everything else, like, they will know. Like, there's nothing else I can teach them other than how to make money. And of course, like all the values and character. And we're not talking about those like fundamental
Right.
things.
Yeah.
The other
So I,
values. First of all,
yeah,
is crypto.
because who knows, somebody might cut this, and all my Albanian haters. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But I truly think the only thing we can teach our children is how to make money. So we must educate the parents. We must understand, or we must make the parents understand that you must raise your child. It's very, very important to not send your child in school for this many hours or in kindergarten or in daycare. But it's okay to be a parent. Like, I see some parents are just wanting to go to work because they're tired of their children. And I understand, you know what I mean? I truly get it, because it's tiring. I can only imagine. Like, I see my little cousin, and it's tiring for me, let alone my cousin who birthed him. But you are meant to raise your children. You know what I mean? Like, as females, we are meant to raise our children. Our schools are not meant to raise our children. And if we make this about family and not about female or male, or about any other demographics, I think we will have huge success in reaching the children, the young child, where he can learn from a nice family, from mom and dad, about finances. Like, it's beautiful. Any other way, I personally don't see it. Like, because children, yeah, they're innovative and we can talk about it, but again, they cannot be focused unless we truly make them focused in something.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Yeah, very good points.
Yeah,
Anybody
absolutely.
else want to add to that?
You have to start young, and you have to start at home. These conversations start at home, and they're not just, like, it's about maintaining that wealth too. It's about maintaining that wealth so that they can continue to pass that on, and instilling good habits in them young, good spending habits. To let them fail with money so that you can redirect them and guide them to the correct way of doing it, instead of there's so many different conversations that you can have with your children every day, and you are the example for money that they will carry forth in their lifetime. As you're their parent, whether you know it or not, you are establishing a belief system within them from your belief system. So if your belief system is that money runs in abundance, money flows easily to me, I have all the money that I need, that is a very different conversation with a child rather than, no, we can't afford that. That kind of language. So
Exactly.
absolutely starting at home with that base. And you already hit it right there. You have the education start with the parents, and the kids are going to get crypto. Like I said, crypto is a train that's not stopping. It's on its path. And these kids are going to pick it up as they go through social media, like getting out there and create, not content targeted at kids, because that's not, you can't do that. Well, you could, but it's, anyway, questionable sometimes. But if you relate to a child, like, with a book and pictures that they like your book, that those things, you sit down and have a conversation with them, you reward them for going off and memorizing a phrase. Thank you for that nugget, by the way. That has been so fun with my kids. They are like, okay, another one. All right, another one. They come back and they give me a word, and it's just conversations. It's not telling them what to do, it's showing them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful.
I personally think that is absolutely everything that you guys said is so important. The education of parents' education, I know because I'm going through that right now, and also the children from young age. What I do here is expose them to, even though they probably not know that they're being exposed, but doesn't remember when you have children and all of a sudden the child said something that they heard on TV, and you turn around and say, where do you get that from? How do you know that? It's because they've been exposed to that somehow through media, through television, cartoons, everything. So what I do personally, in order to educate my kids without them knowing, because they're in an age that's 12 and 13, 14 almost, that they don't want mommy to tell them what to do. They have their own life and they know exactly you know what's right and wrong, everything. It's that age, hard age. But they understand and they hear, because now they know the meaning of a blockchain, they know what hex is, they know the vocabulary that we usually use. So I think it's very important. I don't turn on the news because that's negative and I don't want to feed them with negative thoughts. So I turn on maybe Twitter Space or one of the broadcasts from YouTube, and let it play on the background so they can understand. And definitely, we need to find ways of filtering the schools, filtering the mothers group. I think it's very important, for example, for the PTA. You, Casey, you work with the PTAs a lot. So they need a lot of help and they will take anything that comes their way. Maybe do some of exchange. Product placement is very, very important because it's a visual, and kids will wear it no matter what. If they like something visual, if it's good, they will adopt it, and they're walking billboards. So I think that start at home with your kids, feed them the right information you want them to get in their brain without them knowing, and then move on to the surroundings and see what you're good
Mhm.
at.
I mean, we probably don't even have to tell them anything about crypto. We just have to tell them what is money, learn about that, teach it, and then they will probably tell us more stuff than what we don't even know. It's just so funny because as you were explaining, Georgia, I was just thinking how your children have a mom as a scientist. They just don't know yet because you're a
See?
financial scientist.
That's true. I keep playing the other day they were talking in one of the channels. Like, see, this is me. They're talking about me. You should be proud of me. I'm trying
Yeah.
to make them proud of me. So
Yeah.
that not only I'm proud of them, but I want them to follow the example. And then if in future generations they will apply that to their family and to their kids. So I
Yeah.
think that's
Amazing.
very important.
Greg, I think you had a very strong message that I agree with completely, that the school system is not going to teach our children how to make money, right? And so as a parent, you may find it difficult to have these conversations about finance and about cryptocurrency, because I do think that there is a difference between teaching them about money. My parents taught me about money, but my grandmother was also a banker, right? So her beliefs and understanding of how money operates and how we should store it is very different than my belief. For me, self-custody is key. I saw a TikTok video yesterday that I just absolutely loved. It was a guy who does a podcast, right? And he's very, very, very wealthy. He wears a $250,000 watch. So $250,000 to him is not a whole lot of money. It's good money, but it's not a whole lot of money. And so he wanted to do this podcast with actual cash in front of him. So he calls his bank where he has millions of dollars, and he says, I would like $250,000 in cash. And they, of course, give him the runaround, right? Oh, it's going to take, we don't keep that kind of money on hand. It's going to take, anywhere from, 3 to 5 days, whatever. He's like, well, I'm doing the podcast, or 3 or 4 days, so give me the money. It ended up taking somewhere between 5 and 6 days for him to actually receive the money. And he only got 160,000 as opposed to the 250,000 that he requested. The moral of his story was that your money is not your money, right? I have millions of dollars in this account, and they couldn't even give me $250,000, right? So to me, that's the most important lesson that I have to explain to my children. You could have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your access to your own money, then you're still, at the government or at the banks, like you're at their liberty, and that's a problem for me.
Yeah, that's the most important principle of crypto, self-custody. And this is the beauty of it, because you are, now you're sovereign, you have this, it's yours, but also your responsibility becomes so much higher that you must store it correctly. And as you said, Kaylin, make sure that your funds are your funds and nobody can take it from you, because we see it. I mean, just right now, isn't the government selling like so much Bitcoin that they seized in 2013 or something like this?
I don't know.
So just please store your funds correctly. And the banks don't seem to do a pretty good job at that. So you must take that in control. Take your funds in your own control.
Mm-hmm.
Self-custody and diversification across your banking accessibility. And when you start seeing major banking CEOs in the headlines, on the news, on the journal pages, pay attention. Actually, when you said that, I got chills thinking that he's out there requesting his hard-earned $250,000. Doesn't matter what he wants to do with it. It's his, right?
Right.
According to the paperwork that you signed with your bank, because that wasn't a smart contract, things can change. And so having that diversification is extremely important. And then also like being aware that, being aware right now today that if I needed to go, I mean, gosh, where's the rest of the Where's that liquidity?
Well, it shows you that you're already living in a digital financial society, right? Now, if he wanted to spend that 250,000, it would have been no problem. Why? Because it's going from this centralized bank to this centralized bank. So sure, swipe your credit card, send that money across, right? But when he wanted fiat, he wanted cash, he wanted his money out of your system into my custody, then that's what it became a problem. And that is a problem, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody thinks. When the shit hits the fan, then I want to have access to this. I want to have, I want to be able to do this. And at any time, they can just cut off your access.
Yeah.
So
That's
scary.
scary.
It's
Yeah.
the
My
screening of
mother
the-
was in Argentina. My mother was in Argentina when the banks did that. It was called el corralito. It's like the little corral, and they had no access to their money. It was crazy. It's very scary, guys. It's very scary.
Yeah. So
very
I want to continue to, create resources that help educate children on these ideals early. I love the project that Accept Cookies was involved in. I don't know if it's his project in entirety, but it's like a Pokégon where it's a NFT, but you collect more as you complete these educational lessons. We can say all day, hey, it's on the responsibility of the parent to teach their children, but how much easier it would be if we had access to good access to resources that really support that education.
Yeah, absolutely. I need that because I sometimes we're good people learning, but it's hard for us to teach. And
Mhm.
sometimes kids don't want to hear from mom or dad or the brother or the sister. They want to go online and make it fun too. Make it fun. Make learning fun.
But something I want to touch on that is that you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know everything in the blockchain, how it works, and in order for you to use it. No, you just need to know how to differentiate what is a good project or product and what is not. That's literally the only thing you have to do. And if you learn by listening to people who are better than you and know more than you, like for example Richard Hart, if you listen to that guy, that's something that you will learn. Everything, not only about finances, but you'll learn about how to be a better person, how to take responsibility, how to be a better friend, and so on. So I think, just having access to everybody being themselves by providing content, especially when it comes to crypto, I think that's truly how we reach everyone. Each one reach one. I always say this.
Yeah, each one teach one, each one reach one. I like it. So we're going to be wrapping up here soon. I try to keep the stream just to an hour because I know how busy my beautiful panel of ladies always are in the space. But I want to give you an opportunity to say what else you have going on or where the people can follow you or anything like that. So let's start with Jury.
Well, you guys can follow me on Yori Hex in every social media. I'm on Telegram, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, like literally everywhere. LinkedIn. You can find me with Yori Hex right now. Actually, right after this stream, I'm jumping on my Albanian stream, so you can come and give me some support there with a like, with a support, with some subscribe. You can only subscribe once, I think. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Just focusing on getting the word out for Pulse Chain, the biggest airdrop. It's happening in crypto.
Lindsay.
You can find me at VIBRAFIINCE, Vibra Finance on Twitter. You can find me at Vibra Finance live stream on YouTube. I would love to see you there. Streaming every Thursday morning, every Saturday night, and Adam drops alpha all week long.
Absolutely. And Georgia?
I am in Twitter all the time, Twitter space at Carrera Georgia. Georgia Carrera was taken. Could you believe that? Who will have that name? Gore, my goodness. And
Georgia is so hot, even when she speaks. Like,
sorry, but so I'm trying to behave because everybody last stream was so nice and behaved. So I think I did it well today. But Moms in Crypto and YouTube. I don't have much in that channel, but if you feel like you don't know what you're doing and you're afraid to jump into that pool of promoting or have that desire to become a content creator, go check out that. I'm not erasing that because I wanted to show you that that was my beginning, and I'm here talking to these amazing ladies. I'm in Twitter Spaces. I love radio, so Twitter Spaces is where I feel like a flipper. That's what I love the most. And I'm with the also I'm going to be Fridays with the Telegram in Espanol, the Pulse Chain in Espanol community, promoting and trying to be that bridge in between the communities, the language bridge, because we are one community. We just speak different languages, and I'm following Jordy's uh, lead. So.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say thank you, ladies, for joining me here today. I always enjoy this dialogue with beautiful, educated, sophisticated ladies. So whenever you guys are available, feel free to message me and let me know so I can bring you back on another panel. For all of you guys in the audience, in the chat, thank you for joining us. I am here every day, same time, Monday through Friday. Weekends are for family.
Can we find you, Casey?
12 p.m. The people know KSB TV is where to find me. Twitter is probably my most active social media, but KSB TV, that keeps you up to date with all the events that I'm working on. Some huge announcements coming out next week. So please come back, join me for another week of awesome guests. Thank you guys again, and bye-bye.
Thank you, ladies, for all you do.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.